What's up, everybody? Welcome to the party. Today's Thursday, August 20th, 2026. It's a Thursday. I'm your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. Welcome to Simply Cyber's daily cyber threat brief podcast. As always, we are coming to you live from the Buffer Auger Flow studio, unless I'm on travel. But we got a great show for you. If you're looking for community, cyber, knowledge, education, direction, threat intelligence, news, insights you won't get anywhere else, and so much more, well, then you're in the right place. So get comfortable. We got a great show for you. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Michael Gillette, good morning. Marcus Kyler, what's up? Sage the Professor, what's cracking, Lemur? Good to see you. The real Clay with the coffee cup. Cheers, my guy, right there. Got a big old double stack of coffee going into my gullet. Guys, this is Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief. Over the next hour, we're going to take 8 cyber stories. I'm going to break them down. Literally got into the studio a little late today, so I don't even have the tabs open on the stream. So, to say I have no idea what we're going to be talking about today is very, very accurate. High confidence on that. I don't research or prep for any show here at Daily Cyber Threat Brief regarding the stories. I do prep the studio, right? I'm not a complete train wreck up here, despite what DJ Bisek may have you believe. Good morning, everyone. We got to see what happens today.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Now, what... I don't have time to do that, but you know what we do have time for? Giving you some CPEs. That's right, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is an absolute heater. And this is the official website of the program, cyberthreatbrief.simplycyber.io. I call your attention to that because on the webpage, we have CPEs. You can catch it across the menu nav at the top. If you're on mobile, hit the little hamburger menu and let it roll. Half a CPE, the show is 1 hour, but we goof around, we have some fun. Like, hey, look at in chat right now, cybersecurity-for-fun. Cybersecurity for fun knows what's all about good times, right? So the show is an hour long. We only want to take half of it. Literally, there's so much friggin' CPEs, 120 CPEs a year at half a CPE show. We don't need to get greedy, guys. No need for gluttony here. So go to cyberthreatbrief.simplycyber.io/CPE. You'll see it has today's date, August 20th, episode 1199. Put in your name, your email address, hit these 2 check boxes, bang on this yellow button, and on September 1st, you will receive an email from this guy, me, with all of your CPEs stacked up. Now, if you don't know what a CPE is, let me make it very clear for you. If you have a cybersecurity certification, you are required to maintain it by almost every single one of the certification bodies. CPEs is part of that requirement. The other one is straight cash, homie. Straight cash, homie. And I'm not going to help you with that one. I'll handle the CPEs. You handle the money. All right? So get your CPEs here. Simple as that. Code Brew, hit the exclamation point CPE in chat. You'll see Nightbot give you the link. If you're listening on replay or on your audio podcast app of choice and you're just like hearing the smooth sounds of this Bostonian who's wicked, that's actually not the right way to use the word wicked. Yeah, it's used as an adjective, right? Wicked, spicy podcast host. Look in the description of the podcast. There's a link in there. Kimberly puts it in there. Thank you, Kimberly. All right, if you're here for the first time, I do want to say welcome to the party, pal. Hell yeah.
Welcome to the party.
We do this show every single weekday morning. We've done it for years. We even got recognized a couple years ago as Podcast of the Year from SANS. So, you know, just like brush a little off the shoulder on that. But if you're here for the first time, dude, no judgment. You just found us. It's all good. Let us know, though. We're the hashtag first timer in chat. Hashtag first timer in chat. And we'll welcome you with open arms. We'll welcome you with emotes. We'll welcome you with sound effects. Hashtag first timer in chat. Basically, I want you to feel welcome. I want you to feel included. That is the vibe that we're going for here at Simply Cyber. Mondo Avelia dropping the Kool-Aid Man. I want you to know I found the Kool-Aid Man sound effect I'm going to choose. I was going to go with Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah. But instead, I'm going to go with the actual sound effect from the commercial where Kool-Aid Man busts through the wall. So you'll hear the wall busting first, and then you hear, oh, yeah. So stay tuned for that. And for those who are uninitiated, when I make it an 80s or 90s reference, which is like all the time, we're gonna spam the chat with the Kool-Aid Man. DC5-815 says, quote, the Packy was wicked crowded for the Pats game. It's wicked true. It's so true, man. You know, the funny thing is the Packy was wicked crowded because you got to get the beers, but don't forget to get a couple scratchies for your mom. Tell her I said hi. All right. Jesus. Sully, Murph. All right, guys. For real, though, we're going to go through 8 stories, rip them apart. We did the threat brief, all these other things. Every day of the week has a special segment. Thursdays is been reserved, long-standing for my friend, your meme generator in flesh form, Dan Reardon, a.k.a. the Haircut Fish. This screenshot taken live in your face at Wild West Hackin' Fest 2024 at karaoke night. Dan, fully in what's the word? Embracing the karaoke like an absolute boss. He's got a custom meme. If you want to guess what it has to do with, some people like to play that game throughout the weeks. Dan did pick something that was relevant that came up on the stream this week to celebrate, or to, not to celebrate, but to enjoy something that came up this week. So if you want to take some guesses in chat, go for it. Bruise and Hacks, Guy Named 303, Mondo Avelia, Phil Stafford, what's up, dudes? Stephen Nunley, good to see you. Elliot Mattice, as always, Elliot. All right. So we got all those things lined up. Let me tell you about the stream sponsors, those who enable me to bring the show to you. I hope some of you were able to catch that Flare anti-siphon mashup webcast yesterday with Oliver and Eric. Looked like it was going to be a banger. I was at the IRS. Oh, by the way, stay tuned if you're interested. I know some of you could give a crap, but if you're interested, I have an update for my visit to the IRS. Huge news. I'm an absolute dummy. All good news. So ask me. I'm doing Cyber Career Hotline today, so ask me at Cyber Career Hotline. I will tell you how much of a silly ninny I look like in front of the IRS people, but they were quite kind. Also, like low-key, like a sitcom moment at the IRS office. Also, fun fact, let me save everybody a little bit of time. Do not bring a pocket knife into a federal facility. The security guards are not fans of that. I did have to leave and return. All right, so check it out. Anti-siphon training is disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by offering high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone at a ridiculous discounted pricing. There's still time for tomorrow's class, Friday, August 21st, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we're talking a full 8-hour day for $295. Okay, now you might say, whoa, Brosif, $295. That sounds a bit pricey. Well, let me tell you what you're getting here. You're getting 8 hours with Jake Williams, former NSA operator, I believe SANS instructor. You're not going to get SANS level education for $295 in any dimension or angle. There's no amount of AI prompt engineering that's going to squirt out a 90% off coupon. What's Jake going to be teaching you about? Assessing AI security. I'm telling you, AI security is freaking wicked hot. So hot.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
You want to understand specifically how to double click down and understand how to assess the security and controls of a model context protocol MCP server? First of all, if you don't know what an MCP server is, you're late. Like the starter pistol went off an hour ago and you need to get running. Number two, If you are deploying MCP servers, you are a pen tester with MCP servers in scope of your attacks, this right here is absolute pure cinema. Jake Williams, solid dude. I'm going to drop a link to this. Anti-Siphon continues. Anti-Siphon continues to just deliver the goods. All right. Also want to say holla, holla, holla to Flare. Flare's threat intelligence platform. You guys know Flare. Flare's thebomb.com. Look at this platform right here. Oh, it's so hot. Guys, see your organization's real exposure now. Flare continuously monitors the dark web and criminal underground to help you detect and respond to cybersecurity risks faster. And right now, if you go to simplycyber.io/flare, simplycyber.io/flare, not only does it help the channel, right, because they see you coming from Simply Cyber, so it's good for the community, but you can sign up for a 2-week free, no questions asked trial. 2 weeks, dude. And in that 2 weeks, you'll have access to 8+ years of dark web data, support from all the Flare threat intelligence experts, and get a live view of your organization's exposure. Guys, 2 weeks for $0. The value is ridiculous already. You'll see how good it is. That's how confident Flare is in their platform and the value it brings. Go to simplycyber.io/flare now. You will not regret it. Believe me when I tell you. I've used it myself. I think it's phenomenal. I'm a big fan. Now, this is going to distract everybody for a minute. This is going to distract everybody. Yes. By the way, I know for you Gen Zs out there who cringing, okay? For you Gen Zs out there, Casually Joseph is the representative from the Gen Z contingent. But for you Gen Zs, I know it's absolute cinema, okay? I know it's absolute cinema. I deliberately choose to say pure cinema. I want to make pure, like, in the most cringe way possible. I want millennials and Gen X, or Zennial like I am, to appropriate absolute cinema and make it pure cinema. My kids seem to dig it. Originally, they thought it was cringy, and now they walk around and say pure cinema. So let's go. We made GRC cool. Let's make pure cinema normal. All right, hey, I do want to share one awesome thing with you that's going to distract everybody for a hot minute. I've been teasing this all week. Hack Smarter Labs, Tyler Ramsby's platform, with the contributions of a Simply Cyber community member who wishes to remain anonymous. A Simply Cyber community member who wishes to remain anonymous has purchased 5 all-access 1-month subscriptions to Hack Smarter. I connected him with Tyler. Him and Tyler handled the money, and then I'm responsible for raffling it off. I get the fun part of raffling it off. If you would like to enter to win, I'm going to tell you how right now. Also, I'm doing this so replay can get in on it, so audio only can get on it. I worked on this. I got up early this morning and I worked on this. All right. So go to simplycyber.io/raffle, simplycyber.io/raffle, and you'll be presented with this form. Your email address is required because I do need to contact you. I will not, I don't have any privacy policies, but trust me, I'm not interested in your email address for like marketing purposes. You're not going to get a, hey there, friend. Hey there, F name. Hey, F name. It's great to see you. Buy my stuff. I'm not going to do that, okay? So email, name, so we can put it in the raffle, and then you hit this button saying that you agree to be involved. simplycyber.io/raffle. Obviously, people live, go get it. But people who are on replay, I wanted you to feel included. You guys typically get hosed on all the raffles that I do. So go do that. I'll remind you at the end of the show. All right, guys, do me a favor. Let me actually get the stories lined up here. Doink, doink, doink. Oh, hold on. Stand by. Stand by. Oh no. Looks like Vanta's the advertisement for the week. All right, guys, do me a favor. Holler. All right. For all the TX in the chat and find the true two, my guy TJ. TJ, are you going to Wild West Hackin' Fest? I don't know. I know this is going to sound like almost borderline creepy, but I want some TJ in my life. I didn't catch him at DEF CON, and he's a cool dude. I like TJ. I know he's going to Simply CyberCon. Oh, by the way, Simply CyberCon, again, sorry to be all over the map today. The hotel is booking up, all right? I had the people at the hotel extend our block to 12 more rooms. We're taking the hotel over. Like, when the rooms are gone, you can't rent more rooms because they're literally all taken by Simply Cyber people. We're literally taking over this entire facility, which is sick. But just warning, if you've been holding out on signing up for your room, don't. Like, I know some of you might be waiting for CFP. Here's the deal. You can register for the room and then not pay and then back out, typically, with enough advance notice. All right, everybody, do me a favor. I didn't see any first timers. Did you guys? Talk to the hand, got a CPE email. You're welcome, dude. All right, let's go. Whoa.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headline.
Well, okay. Listen. If I'm going to accidentally blow out the copyright, which I just did, I guess we're gonna get ready, everybody. We're gonna roll some Simple Minds at the mid roll because I just accidentally did that. Let's go. Hey, Deb and Grady, Jim Wales, do me a favor. Cool sounds, hot news. Let's go.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Thursday, August 20th, 2026. I'm Sarah Lane. OpenAI rewrites safety rules after threshold warning. OpenAI is rewriting its preparedness framework after tests suggested its upcoming Astra model may have reached a critical cybersecurity threshold, while another unreleased model breached Hugging Face systems. The company paused 2 weeks of deployment-focused reinforcement learning training, and its largest planned frontier run remains on hold. The overhaul will add stronger monitoring and earlier safeguards across development. It is safe to say the models have outgrown those rules written in 2023.
Okay, well, listen, there's a couple things going on here. Number one, I think OpenAI's escape and attack on Hugging Face, which again blows my mind that you can have a business attack another business, and because it was AI, it was like oopsie. Like, I'm just pointing out really quick, like if Simply Cyber were to attack Chase Bank, and I was like, oh, I'm just working on an LLM, I'm just working on an agent swarm over here. Sorry, Chase Bank. You got to believe I would be treated differently than OpenAI. Okay, like let's just put that out there. Second of all, I do think OpenAI did attack Hugging Face. I don't know about this Anthropic and Kimmy and all this other jazz, but what I do want to point out is, first of all, I appreciate that they're willing to rewrite the safety rules. For the long time, I've thought OpenAI is just like, I don't want to say reckless, but like reckless. I guess I will put it that way. Like just moving fast, breaking things like Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, circa like 2005, just like not caring about the implications, printing money, throwing bows, and just kind of doing whatever. So for them to take a moment and do this, one, it's probably, I hate to say this, but I am cynical. So you let me know in chat if you want to fight me on this one, okay?
Straight cash, homie.
But OpenAI is worth a lot of money. OpenAI probably, they haven't IPO'd yet, right? They're gonna make lots of people millionaires if and when they IPO. So, this looks great. Oh, we are so awesome that our model accidentally broke out and attacked people. But look, We did the responsible thing. We were the adults in the room. Give us money and invest in us. Okay, again, very cynical, very simplified perspective on this, but I would like to think that this is from a good place, but based on everything I've ever seen in business, except for Signal, like the messaging app, except for Signal, most companies devolve into doing things that are directly related to helping incentivize monetary gains and revenue increases, okay? So, whatever. I do appreciate that they said that the Astra reached a critical threshold for cybersecurity capabilities, and they took 2 weeks to kind of review and everything. Good. I do want to point out, like, as far as I know, it's been reported that it was a human error, right? It was a human error that did not configure the sandbox correctly, or it was sandbox, but it was able to attack out through a Docker container or something like that. It truly wasn't air gapped from the internet. So, was the Astra model that awesome, or was the environment incorrectly prepped, right? Like, think of surgery where, like, you don't sanitize the room and then bacteria gets into the actual, open incisions and stuff, right? It's not necessarily that the doctor was bad. It was just that the environment wasn't set up correctly. We are, we're 3 years into this AI disruption thing. To say we're marching, it wouldn't be good enough. Like, we are full tilt sprinting while leaning forward towards whatever the new frontier is of AI. So
shall we play a game?
I was kind of dark and dystopian. Now I'm a little bit less. I will say that we're starting to see humanoids, like robotic humanoid shaped humans, not humans, but robots. And they're inserting AI models as brains into the things. So we'll see. Unfortunately, humankind has, consistently proven that they can do some dark stuff. So my concern is like less AI taking over and just AI being weaponized by awful people. I did, just as a quick digression, like, again, I've made my point about this story. I'll just quickly. John Strand recommended the book Hyperion when I read it, when I talked to him a while ago. I'm big on like fantasy, sci-fi, stuff like that. So if you're into that genre, he's recommended Hyperion. I'm halfway through reading it. There is an AI faction in Hyperion, this future society type thing. And the good news is the AIs got smart enough, and then they just like separated and formed their own colony, but agreed to support like mankind with like technical infrastructure. So there is one version of a sci-fi author's world where AI doesn't just Skynet us.
U.S. charges 17 in Iranian hacking campaign. The Justice Department charged 17 people in a hacking for hire operation it says was run through Iran's Mabna Institute.
Really quick, no spoilers on Hyperion, please. I'm only halfway through it. It is great. It took me a minute to get into it, but please, no spoilers.
For the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Prosecutors say the group stole at least 31 terabytes of data from U.S. agencies, UN organizations, 144 U.S. universities, and 42 U.S. companies, along with targets abroad. Universities spent about $20 million investigating and cleaning up all the breaches.
Okay, listen, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since we've seen this, okay? It's been a minute since we've seen this, but the surface level story here is that the United States Department of Justice, typically, the Justice Department, has charged or it has issued charges for the arrest of these Iranian threat actors. Okay, now Iran's been attacking the crap out of everybody, right? When you murder, when you eliminate the leader, right? The president, the chancellor, the prime minister, whoever. when you eliminate the leader of a country and begin to attack them and disrupt their situation, they tend not to take it well. And Iran's a smaller country. I've said this numerous times. They are facing essentially what is perceived. I'm not going to nitpick on whether it is or it is not. I'm just telling you from their perspective, perceived existential threat, i.e., the eradication of them entirely. They are going to pull out all the stops. They're going to do all the things to help them survive, including hacking, because they do have a decent cyber capability. Go look up the Muddy Waters Advanced Persistent Threat Actor Group. They've been doing attacks for years. It's not just post Iran conflict. Okay. Now, the reason I said we haven't seen this in a while is because the DOJ does issue indictments from time to time. But one thing I want to point out, okay, because this looks awesome, and you might think,
Regulators, mount up.
right? You might think, oh, pure cinema. The United States is holding people accountable. My guy, let me point something out. The United States has charged tons of North Koreans with crimes. The United States has charged tons of Eastern Europeans with crimes, Russians with crimes, Iranians with crimes. Some of these Iranians that are being charged with a recent attack have indictments associated with them from, wait for it, 2018 for their roles in another hacking campaign. So 8 years ago. Just because you're charged by the United States Department of Justice doesn't mean you go to trial and you go to jail. It just means that you're charged. If you live in a country that is not friendly with the United States, you don't have to worry too much. You're not going anywhere. Just like trust me, nobody in Iran is like picking up people that are charged in this indictment and handing them to the US. So like, this is great. This is great because the wheels of justice need to turn and people want accountability and stuff. But this stops here. Only if these Iranians get on a plane and fly to like Toledo or Memphis, right? For those who enjoy going to Memphis, only then would you get picked up, right? Or if they're dumb and they go to like Canada or G7 countries, right? And the United States is actively looking in those spaces for them, right? Which doesn't really happen, which is why these dudes got charged in 2018 and they're still running around doing what they do. So we see this all the time. I don't want to call it theater because it is the right steps, but it's not going to manifest into any material like justice or retribution for any impacted organization, whether it's the United States or it's like one of these water plants. You can see their names are called. The State Department is offering a $10 million reward for these individuals, which I will say, if you live in the country of Iran, $10 million is pretty motivating. Final thing I'll say about this, by the way, listen, this story from a cyber perspective is about as thin as a piece of paper, right? 8x11 cheap copy paper. Like the U.S. Department released arrests or whatever, indictments for a bunch of Iranian hackers, like whatever. One thing that I do want to tell you, I looked into this one time, not that I was going to try to like narc on someone and get paid, but the State Department offered a reward of $10 million, right, for these guys. Let me tell you something about when there's a reward for information leading to the arrest of whoever. In this case, $10 million. A lot of time, it's not like you call and you're like, hey, I know Bazad Mesri is at, the Shell station on Main Street. And then the police show up and they're like, woo, woo. And then they arrest them. And then they drive to your house and give you a bag of money with $10 million in it.
Straight cash, homie.
That money leading to an arrest, it's usually like it comes in pieces, like it's all gated. The only way you get all the money is if like the person eventually goes to trial, gets found guilty, gets sentenced, and goes to prison. So like the reward that you're offered, you don't see it all in the best case scenario until years later. So again, I'll just go to work and work as a W-2 employee or as a business owner and not worry about trying to make my bank off of like rewards from criminals at large. But just so everyone knows, it's not as simple as, like they don't just like drive to your house and cut you a check.
Microsoft fixes Windows Defender crash bug. Microsoft fixed a security update bug that made Defender scans crash with access violation errors on some Windows 10 and 11 systems. Some users saw threat service has stopped messages, and a few reportedly reinstalled Windows before the cause was even clear. Microsoft says signature update 1.457.236.0 or later resolves it and should arrive automatically.
All right. Quick editorial. It's not G7. I guess China and Russia are in G7. So the Five I countries. Here's the deal. I constantly say BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and those Middle Eastern countries that joined them. And then the other side, I say like, oh, US, Canada, like English-speaking countries. Then I'm like, no, that's not right. And then I'm like, Five Eyes, and I'm like, that's not right. Chris Weaver in comments, Chris Weaver, longtime community member, said G7. So I was trying to flex what I had recently learned. Still working on. All right, so Microsoft fixes issue causing Windows Defender crashes. I don't know, guys, in chat, I'm kind of curious. This is totally anonymous. Is Defender your primary EDR agent at work? I'm kind of curious. Listen, I have used Defender. I got rid of it. I now use CrowdStrike. Oh, this guy, CrowdStrike does make a pricing licensing model for teeny tiny businesses like 2Thumbs. This guy. But Microsoft Defender does get into the entire ecosystem. If you had a recent security update, the Defender agent was crashing, which is a problem because it's critically required. EDRs are critically important for the security of your endpoints, right? You can see real-time protection against malware, whatever. Okay. So it says beginning this morning. Hold on. When was this morning? August 19th. So yesterday. So a lot of people were experiencing issues yesterday. All right. So here's the error. You just get this like stupid little pop-up with a single button. Okay, so this is super easy. The latest update fixes the problem. All right. So, okay. I don't even know what to tell you about this story. Like, Defender had an issue. Microsoft instantly fixed it. You gotta patch it. Slow news day here at Simply Cyber. Like, software had issue. Devs fixed it. You probably didn't even notice. What can I tell you about this one? All right. I mean, realistically, no one's going to have a failover business continuity plan for a backup EDR solution. When you're using EDR, a lot of times you have multi-year contracts with like large enterprise grade SaaS providers, CrowdStrike, SentinelOne, Sophos, Microsoft, etc. So you would never, ever, ever in a million years have like a primary Windows Defender as your EDR and then have a backup, pay for backup of CrowdStrike. So whatever. Microsoft dealt with this. I guess what I would say is this issue is an issue. Hopefully you had good communication with help desk. Here, I guess this is a valuable kind of insight. I always, dude, here's the thing. For this community, I always try to find something of value from my experiences or from others who I've talked to help you have a stronger cyber program, to be a better practitioner, to be a better CISO. Here's the deal. You definitely want to have a good relationship with help desk or support desk. You want them to feel comfortable and confident contacting you. getting a bunch of phone calls that, like the EDR, the health application's not working, or there's a critical issue or whatever. You don't necessarily want that call. But when a security tool like this is failing and multiple users are calling in complaining, it'd be nice to get a quick Slack message from someone on the help desk saying, hey, we've got multiple people saying that their Windows Defender's crashing. And then someone on your team's like, hey, let me look into this, start Googling around, check the status page at Microsoft. Might be a bigger issue, but for a hot minute there, you are, exposed if EDRs are not running. Yeah, and BSEC saying, I don't even think you can run 2 EDRs on a machine because they'd be fighting each other. That is possible. You'd have to try. You would never really want to run 2 EDRs anyways, because then you're going to have 2 consoles. You're going to have duplicative messages and stuff. Like, if you know what I mean? Like, if you try to quarantine with one, the other's going to see it. Like, you would never, financially, it would be stupid, and operationally, it would be stupid. So you're never going to run 2, but timely responses and handling these type of things, help desk is going to be your BFF on that one. All right, let's check this out. Looks like a third of you roughly use Defender as your primary EDR. Good information.
Flock's new police AI goes beyond license plates. Flock Safety's new OS Investigate appears to be able to identify drivers and map relationships by combining data from its camera network to more than 6,000 communities with police files, 911 logs, and commercial records, according to code obtained and reconstructed by Wired. The system includes 69 suggested prompts and 45 tools, including searches that start with only a place, time, and behavior pattern, not a suspect or a plate. Flock says the product is still in limited testing and may change before wider release.
All right, guys. I don't know. I feel powerless against the Flock deployment. And I know, I think the phrase is like, when good men do nothing, evil wins, or something. Like, thank you for the reporting, Wired. Thank you for the reporting, all you YouTube content creators who are not taking this Flock camera deployment quietly. There's been a lot of people who have been doing illegal things with destroying these cameras. There's a lot of people who are coming up with some creative ways. You're not allowed to touch the cameras, but I saw this the other day. By the way, if you don't know what Flock cameras are, they're cameras that they're deploying all over the roads in the United States with the idea that they'll scan license plates, and that's always been the benign, we're just looking at license plates. And everybody's like, no, my guy, like, yes, you're doing just license plates today, but you're building a tech surveillance infrastructure that's unprecedented ever in the United States. And it just takes a code update. And now all of a sudden the thing is like definitely way more powerful. Wired got part of their code, and surprise, surprise, they're adding AI. They're adding integrations, essentially like not MCP servers, but additionally other data sources to aggregate and enrich the data. And all of a sudden, now we can track you. Now we can identify you. Now, if we want to find you, right? Like, let's say that you're a dissident. Let's say you're somebody who's an enemy of the state. Let's say that you're someone that, I think is a mistress for, my husband, right? Or whatever, right? Like personal, completely outside the scope of what is appropriate. Now I can track you. Okay. I don't know what kind of oversight is being used in this thing. Again, it's always been like, we're just looking at license plates. That's not true. Okay. Now, I do want to say one of the cool non-violent ways I've seen to dispute this, Grandpa sign Flock camera. See if I can find this here. Look at this guy. I love this guy. Dude, this guy has got retirement I have like my retirement goals. I love this. So for those who are listening on audio only, there's a guy in Florida who's wicket retired. So he's got nothing better to do. He sits in a chair. You're not allowed to touch these flock cameras, okay? But he sits in a chair and he's got a 10-foot pole. And on top of the pole is a big ass sign that says down with flock. And he puts it right in front of the flock camera. So all the camera can see is a big sign that says down with flock. It can't scan anyone's plates or anything. It's an absolutely passive, non-violent, he's not touching the camera at all. And it's completely working for his, I guess, protest. So way to go, Florida. Yeah, Daniel Lowry. Daniel, you should go out on the street and interview this guy. Maybe Simply Cyber can do a on the street interview. I don't know where this guy is, but like this is what I'm talking about. There is a groundswell of people who are absolutely livid about this flock camera thing. They have them in Charleston, by the way. If you go over the Westmoreland Bridge, not the Westmoreland, the bridge that goes from West Ashley down to downtown, is a big A flock camera right next to the Holiday Inn. I wish it was the hotel, motel, Holiday Inn, but it's not. It's just a flock camera Holiday Inn. So anyways, keep an eye on this. If you are, I guess all I can say is this flock camera thing, it's not affecting your job, your organization, whatever. This is 1000% your personal privacy and the privacy of others. And if you're in the camp, because I used to be in this camp, if you're in the camp of like, what do you got to hide? Why do you need privacy? What are you hiding? You should be an open book. That is not the case. Like, you don't have a right to know what I'm doing. I get to choose that, right? It's not that I'm hiding anything. It's that I don't want you in my business. This flock camera deployment's crazy.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, Vanta. Your GRC team is dealing with more and more frameworks, vendors, and risk. The board wants it all in one place, but your compliance data lives all over. Vanta's agentic trust platform connects compliance, risk, and trust at enterprise scale and delivers a 526% ROI over 3 years. 16,000 companies trust Vanta, including Snowflake, Atlassian, and Ramp. Visit vanta.com/CISO to learn more.
All right. Of course, like I said, we blew out the copyright at the intro, so let's go old school. All right. Hey, guys, we made it to the middle. Wait, hold on. I have to do the ad roll for Threat Locker. We made it, and then we'll play the music. Welcome to the mid-roll. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Threat Locker, Anti-Siphon, and Flare. We're going to do the meme of the week in a hot minute. Dan Reardon, if you can, check Mod Chat. I do have a question open for you that requires, a timely response, please. Guys, Threat Locker, absolutely crushing it. Just got Series E funding. Cybersecurity solutions across the endpoint cloud network. One solution that does it all, pretty much. It's awesome. They have long solved the application allow by explicit only, deny everything else. They've crushed that. Now they have expanded their portfolio of solutions. They are doing all sorts of zero trust network architecture, zero trust on cloud SASE apps, privileged access management. It is ridiculous. If you had looked at Threat Locker 4 years ago, 3 years ago, and you think that's what Threat Locker is, you are sadly mistaken, because they have expanded in a way that is just unprecedented. All this series funding that they've been getting, the millions of dollars of investment, they are definitely deploying it into engineering. They are crushing it. Go to threatlocker.com right now. I'm telling you, it's definitely worth looking at. If you're running an enterprise and you want essentially some support from having all sorts of stuff run all over the place and have people access things that they shouldn't, there you go. Just want to point out, if someone steals your creds and tries to log into something, it's not going to work. I saw a live demo. It is inconvenient sometimes for your workforce not to be able to hop on a computer of like, you're at your aunt and uncle's house and you hop on a computer and all of a sudden you can't access your ThreatLocker stuff or your organization stuff because you run ThreatLocker. Guys, security cuts both ways. Go to threatlocker.com and learn more now. All right, holla, holla, holla. Every single day of the week has a special segment. And Dan Reardon has What's Your Meme Thursdays. Now, guys, listen, I know I've been going long on today's show. Feels like a light news day. In response to that, I'm going to give you a double shot. Double shot of What's Your Meme Thursday. One of these memes is the definite meme for today, for the week. But Dan Reardon just made another meme in the last 15 minutes, which I asked him, can I share this? Because this thing is spicy. All right, so if you didn't know, earlier this week, there was a story about a threat actor, lone operator, who attacked and got like 7 million records of some major companies, including Vodafone and McDonald's. That's right, the same McDonald's with Grimace and Hamburglar. The threat actor's name was Hatman. Now, I couldn't help but immediately make the connection to Scatman, that like 1997, 1995 song that just blew up for a hot minute. Dan Reardon took that as inspiration. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the hit Hatman Jerry, inspired by Hatman threat actor / Scatman. I'm the Hatman. So Dan Reardon, let's let this breathe for a second. So there you go. This is what memes of the week look like. You will not find this anywhere else. You could do a Google image search on this graphic and you will find it. It is one of one. We as a Simply Cyber community are unbelievably blessed to have Haircut Fish as a member of our community. Now, you might say, Jesus, Jerry, this is great. We're seeing all sorts of people in chat loving on this meme. You know what you might call this meme? Pure cinema. Dan Reardon, on the fly, makes an animated GIF of me as Martin Scorsese. Pure cinema. I can't wait to send this to my children. Make this my ringtone in visual format. Thank you, Dan. Jesus, could it not be any better to be a member of this community? I am so grateful. Pure cinema. All right, guys, let's finish strong, shall we? Oh, wait, hold on. We got to do the laws. I mean, if we're going to blow out the copyright, we got to do it right. Marcus Kyler, Alpha Sierra. Let's go. Guys, just let the laws wash over you. The words are la. Bill Stafford, close your eyes, let your head bop. Soap flavored, you know the tune. Oh, so good. Dude, I tell you what, like, I never know what this show is going to do. When I tuned in this morning, poured my cup of coffee, no idea we were going to do Simple Minds paired with a Pure Cinema animated GIF. God dang, it's a good time to be alive. Let's keep going.
GTA 6 hacker leaks gameplay and map. A hacker calling itself CyberLeak, that's Leek, posted 2 GTA 6 gameplay clips, and what it says is the full Leonida map, demanding that Rockstar apologize for digital-only pre-orders. The footage reportedly shows basketball, vehicle loadouts, trunks, a stamina bar, and an honor system. The report says Rockstar has issued takedown notices. That does suggest the material is likely authentic.
Yeah, I mean, okay. It's not like the hacker leaked the source code of the game. I know that happened with Microsoft and Forza recently. Dude, this game is going to make $1 billion. This game is so hotly anticipated. the GTA online game is like printing money. Like, way to go, Rockstar Games. This, like, I know that this game has gotten a lot of, turbulence in the past with it, like promoting violence and abusing women and endorsing and celebrating crime and all these other things. It is a fun game though. I mean, it's obviously a mature content, but like the teasers and stuff for this game are awesome. People are thirsty for it. Threat actor got in and is leaking some stuff. Dude, the fact that it's just leaking photos and explanations and stuff. I mean, basically, Rockstar Games would do that as part of a marketing campaign, right? I know they want to control the narrative and everything, but if anything, this is good for business, right?
Straight cash, homie.
Rockstar Games definitely has lawyers and executives and very corporate and everything. So they're doing all the things of takedown notices and all this other stuff, right? All the things they're supposed to do. It is what it is, though. I hope, like, I'm saying this tongue in cheek, so I'm not really requesting this, but it'd be nice if this threat actor decided to like go and look at Bethesda games and maybe leak Elder Scrolls 6 since it's been in development for like 10 years. You know what I don't need? Another release of Skyrim. I don't need a Skyrim like AI edition or Skyrim double, triple platinum, diamond exclusive, B-side, like double flapjack edition, whatever. Again, this is like, honestly, guys, if I didn't see any first timers in chat. This is like borderline a really slow news day.
Stop and Protect turns hacked WordPress sites into malware hubs. Checkpoint researchers say the Stop and Protect campaign is using 2,000 compromised WordPress sites to deliver malware, run command and control, and store stolen data. Fake CAPTCHA prompts trick visitors into running PowerShell, which can then install ransomware, worms, a screen locker, a credential stealer, and other tools. The campaign is said to have hit more than 6,000 unique IP addresses, with many infections focused on quietly stealing files.
All right, so this is a classic technique of using other people's infrastructure as your own infrastructure, ultimately to be able to have crimes not associated with you. So here's the deal. WordPress websites have long been, for like 10, 15 years, a great source of compromisable assets for threat actors, meaning WordPress sites typically have lots of plugins that are not maintained or just have been abandoned or have plugins that are not having updates applied to them. And threat actors can find them easily because they are websites, so they're designed to be internet facing, and they take them over. Now you might think, okay, so that, I had a website that was all about, oh my God, what would be something that I would have been into? Like kite surfing. Okay. I had a website all dedicated to kite surfing on WordPress, and then I got out of kite surfing. So who cares? I don't care if you take it over. There's nothing there except my love for kite surfing. So the problem is, threat actor who lives in wherever compromises my site, then uses my site as a forward operating base, for lack of a better term, to launch attacks from. So when Wade Wells is looking through the logs at where this attack came from, he finds my website, and then all of a sudden I'm talking to law enforcement or I'm talking to whomever about what's my role in this attack. Okay. Not to mention, with 2,000 hacked WordPress sites, when you put in an IP address into your firewall saying this is a known malicious IP address, don't use it, threat actor can just pivot to the next IP and do that 2,000 times, right? This is why IP addresses are trivial from kind of an indicator of compromise perspective. So the story here is less about protect your WordPress sites, which you should be doing.
You gotta patch it.
And more about the methodology used by more sophisticated threat actors. Listen, a less sophisticated threat actor. I don't even know if Skid or Script Kiddie is considered politically correct anymore, but a less sophisticated threat actor that does not understand what they're doing, and they're just reading an SOP or standard operating procedure. They're being given guidance in a Discord server by some other person. They don't know what they're doing. So they'll just attack the target. Someone who knows what they're doing, doesn't want to get caught, has good OPSEC or whatever, they'll attack a target and then use that attacked target to attack someone else. And that's what's happening here. Let's see what we're doing here. So the infection chain begins with a click fix social engineering attack. Click fix, guys, click fix is definitely still super relevant. So if you don't know what a click fix attack is, very quickly, it's the pop-up that says, prove you're not a robot. And instead of clicking on fire hydrants or whatever, you have to hit, you have to basically open a command shell and run, open a command prompt and run PowerShell. It can manifest in a bunch of different ways, but basically that's the deal. You get your victim to run PowerShell on their machine. Once you do that, it's game over because you start pulling down second stage payloads and you're screwed. All right. This thing's got, all right, hold on. This looks like checkpoints, color scheming. I will tell you this, though. This graphic, you know what we're doing. Daniel Lowry, look away. For those who don't know, I like infographics a lot. Daniel, look. Okay. That's right. Little lighter in the crowd. All right, so this thing's classic. You got a compromised website. You get someone to click fix on it. Run PowerShell stage 1. You see at the top there, PowerShell stage 1. That's the victim running it on their own machine. Second stage payload comes down. At this point, the victim's not even involved. The machine's just running second stage payload. By the time the top right happens, you're absolutely screwed. You're going to go ahead and re-image your machine at this point, so I hope you have everything backed up. Everything beneath the top line, that's just threat actor owning you. That is threat actor wearing you like a pair of pants, and they can do whatever they want. They could stick things in the back pockets, things in the front pockets. Threat actor could use that stupid little coin pocket that no one really uses and jam something in there. You're screwed. By the way, this is Checkpoint Research. Nice job, Checkpoint, with your color scheming. I identified it immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next story.
Klopp names 40-plus victims in wind chill campaign.
Ooh, Klopp.
The Klopp
you have my
ransomware
attention.
Group has named more than 40 organizations it claims were hit after attackers exploited a vulnerability in PTC Windchill and Flex PLM. The unauthenticated remote code execution flaw was used to plant web shells and steal databases, backups, engineering documents, and blueprints. Shell, Philips, and Fiserv all say they are investigating, but none has confirmed a major breach.
Oh, they will. Dude, Klopp ransomware. I'm telling you, unhealthy fascination with them. I appreciate organization, execution, high quality. I know this show has problems from time to time, so you might think that I'm just a dummy and like I don't like high quality, but if you've worked with me, I am thorough and I really like quality and completeness. Klopp ransomware, they are not half-stepping. They ain't no half-stepper. They go full. They go hard in the paint. Whatever you want to say. I just, well done. Again, I don't promote, condone, or endorse any of this malicious criminal activity. I'm just saying if you're going to do it, you know. So Klopp ransomware, this is what makes Klopp ransomware so identifiable. They typically find a technical exploit and then they go ham across as many large organizations as they can with that exploit. They did it with Progress Move It software. They did it with with another Madame Cleo It's not Madam Clio. It's like Clio file transfer software. I forget what it was. We always joked that it was Madam Clio. And now with this PTC wind chill thing, solution I've never heard of, doesn't matter. What they do is they find one thing and they do it well. Instead of like trying to spray all the things, they do one thing well, which is why I think I identify with them. And then they go off. Here's the reality. Klopp got all these all these victim organizations. Likely Klopp will not resurface for like 6 months because they're going to go through all these and cash them all out and do all the things. Klopp ransomware is definitely, I would say, a top 10 threat actor in the financially motivated criminal area. If you are an organization, if you protect an organization of, let's say your company makes more than like, say, $100 million annual revenue a year, okay? When you see Klopp ransomware is actively attacking, meaning like basically they do active campaigns, what feels like a couple times a year. But when they do come out, if they are attacking a piece of software and you have it in your environment, you must prioritize patching it.
You gotta patch it.
You know what I mean? They're like a bear coming out of hibernation, or maybe not that. What's a good analogy? What's something that only happens a couple times a year, but it absolutely slays it? It's like a lion on the Serengeti. The lion isn't hunting all the time. The lion's just usually kind of laying around chilling. But when the lion gets up and wants to go get dinner, you better get the hell out of there.
Premier League rolls out mandatory cyber rules. Premier League clubs could face fines of up to 100,000 British pounds under mandatory cybersecurity rules approved by all 20 teams. The requirements will arrive in 3 stages: April 2027, April 2028, and April 2029, covering backups, incident response, recovery, risk, and assurance. Clubs will face annual assessments and must submit improvement plans if and when controls fall short.
All right, couple things. One, Elliot Matthijs makes a really great joke. He says, Madam Clio would have seen it coming. That's hilarious. Madam Clio, for those who don't know, because you're Gen Z, was in the 90s. She was like one of these like call 1-900 psychic people, complete fraud sham show. Also, Eric Taylor in chat comments that Klopp had already gone through the data, and that's why they're doing the publication. So I guess the Klopp ransomware workflow is not to just, like they almost do it as a wholesale phasing. I didn't think they did it that way. It's good to know that, though. When they did the Progress Move It software, I mean, they were getting so many people, so many places that maybe they've improved their overall process now so they don't tip their hand until they're done grabbing victims. So Premier League, for those who like soccer or football, as it is called in the UK, Premier League is the highest of leagues, and they're introducing cyber compliance rules. The way you should read this is if you work in the UK and you work in GRC.
Straight cash, homie.
There you go. Dude, top flight football clubs can be fined $100,000 for breaching rules. You know, it's interesting. I know that these soccer clubs don't want to get compromised anyways, but dude, $100,000 fine. $100,000. I know it's pounds, but just work with me here. How much revenue does Manchester United make? Manchester United made 660 million pounds last year. Manchester United made 600 million pounds last year. So if you're going to fine them $100,000, like just doing the math, like let's say that you Tech Grunt, you Code Brew, you Daniel Lowry, you Brown Coyote, let's just say you made $100,000 a year just to make the math easy. If I told you that you were non-compliant with my policies and you were going to be fined 80 cents for non-compliance, which essentially is like kind of like the math here. Would you invest more than 80 cents into becoming compliant? You know what I mean? Like, again, I don't think this should be like a trillion fine for not compliant. But like I don't know, dude, as a CISO, when I look at this, like, dude, here's the reality. Like I came up, I'm super passionate about cybersecurity. I came up more of a technical background, like computer science and software and engineering and stuff like that. And I wanted to secure all the things. Let's do all the things. But then as you get into like leadership and building programs and stuff, it really becomes a cost benefit analysis, an ROI, return on investment, right? So like, I'm not going to spend a dime to save a nickel. You know what I mean? Like, it's dumb. Like, I'm not going to spend $400,000 on 3 staff and some technology in order to make sure we don't get a $100,000 fine. Again, I'm being very simple with the math and playful, right? You can obviously get this fine multiple times. Chances are these clubs are going to throw some level of, what's probably going to happen, if I had to guess, is they're going to look at their IT staff and say, hey guys, this just came down. Make us compliant. Do the best you can. Welcome to your new role. But, you know, whatever. Good on you. If you do work in the UK and you want to work in GRC, there could be opportunities there. All right, guys. That's going to do it. This is like a very slow news day. Very slow news day. Guys, thank you so very much for checking us out. We ran a couple minutes over. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Stay tuned. We're going to get over to Cyber Career Hotline. I'm going to answer your questions. It's a hidden AMA program just for you guys. Don't forget, we're running a raffle right now. You can enter to win. There's 5 prizes. Each prize is a 1-month all-access pass to the Hack Smarter Lab environment. Level up. This is Tyler Ramsby's environment. Very well respected and getting a lot of great news. It was a gift from a Simply Cyber community member who wanted to give back to our community, but also remain anonymous. Go to simplycyber.io/raffle to be brought to this Google form page. We will be drawing the winner tomorrow live on stream at 9 a.m. Eastern time after the daily cyber threat brief. Guys, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Thank you all so very much. Don't go anywhere. We got a great AMA for you.
I'm Dr. Gerald Auger. This is the Cyber Career Hotline. If you're building a career in cybersecurity, this show is for you. Let's get into it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Cyber Career Hotline. I'm your host, Jerry Guy, coming to you live from the Buffer Auger Flow studio. Jerry Guy has some beef with Dr. Gerald Auger, that nerd. If you're coming from Daily Cyber Threat Brief, my apologies, having to deal with that absolute nerd, Dr. Gerald Auger. Oh my God, can you be like less emphatic about Clop ransomware, you geek? Ugh. All right. But for real, it's me. Terrible OPSEC. It's still me. Hey, if you have any questions, put them in chat with a Q. The entire premise of this show is for me to help as many of you in the time allotted. I do want to remind everybody, I do not really do one-on-one mentoring. I had someone message me recently and ask me for one-on-one mentoring. They told me they would pay me. I declined. They asked me to explain myself. I disregarded the email. They sent me a follow-up email a week later. I got it yesterday, asking me to explain myself a bit stronger. I'm not going to. I just don't do one-on-one mentoring. I mentor at scale, my guy. All right. So questions, put them in chat. Reminder, guys, I want everybody to enter into the raffle if they can. I really should be taking your email and doing something with it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to just run a raffle. Do want to say a quick note. If you do get the newsletter, Simply Cyber newsletter, for years we've been doing it. Chuck Sapp has been behind that. This Monday is Chuck Sapp's final newsletter email. Chuck Sapp will continue to be a member of the Simply Cyber community, of course, but I do want to say that we're going to be making some changes. Newsletter will continue, but we're going to reevaluate it, see if we can add some more value to it. Jesus Christ, are you serious? All right, so I'm just getting this right now. Simply CyberCon Saturday night rooms are sold. There is no Saturday night rooms at Simply CyberCon. So if you've been waiting, you're going to have to find alternative options. There's only one hotel on the island. So Airbnb, Verbo, it will be off season. There is a load of rentals because it is a vacation spot, but it'll be off season. Here we go. Questions, bring it coming in hot into chat. Let me flag them really quickly. Make sure you put a Q in the front so I can see them. All right, I got a couple questions loaded up here. Here we go. Young Kadai Yasha Dev. I just passed my CompTIA Sec Plus. Way to go. I'm also in college. Very cool. Just finished my first semester. Yes. Soon got my associate's degree and plan to get my bachelor's and master's in cyber. Have no job. What's the question? What's the question? Let me know. Happy to answer it. Gerald, finally alive from Vegas. Wow. You were on life support for a minute there, dude. You must have DEFCON hard. How would you foster an engaging culture in a cybersecurity team? All right. Great question. Obviously so I've built Simply Cyber as a community that is a culture of engagement, inclusion, support. Here's what I would recommend. You have to be genuine. If you're like, I'm assuming this question, by the way, is you're a member of a cybersecurity team, potentially a CISO, and you're wanting your team to be engaged and excited and passionate. So I have solved this challenge or, worked on this challenge in the past. Here's what I would say. Couple things. Number one, you got to be genuine, right? You've got to be genuine in whatever you do, or else people are going to see through it. Number two, talk to your team individually. I like to do one-on-ones with people that report to me and with the greater team. If you have a large enough team where you have managers reporting to you, and then you have staff reporting to the managers, you still, at least twice a year, should meet with each individual member of the cybersecurity team for a one-on-one. Take them out to lunch. Go to coffee, whatever. Have a conversation with them. Number one, Alex, this is going to show them that you actually care about them. And you're not just, whatever. I know they're there for a paycheck, but you can be human about it. Number two, you're going to find out what they are interested in. Okay? And I want to point out two things about what you're interested in. Number one, where are you interested in taking your career? Because if you are super passionate about threat intelligence, or you're super passionate about identity and access management or cloud or whatever, right? You can help them go that direction, because what ends up happening a lot of times is problems come up for you, right? As a CISO, problems come up we've got to roll out an identity and access management solution, or we're taking on all these vendors with AI. How do we process through this? We've got this challenge that we need help with. If I've already talked to everybody on my team, and I know that Deborah really is just mailing it in and doesn't really want to take on any extra work because she's 3 years from retirement, but Johnny is, in the same spot, 3 years from retirement, but Johnny's super geeked up for AI and learning all the AI things. Well, then I can say, hey, Johnny, this thing came up. Are you interested in doing it? Now, as far as an engaging culture, one, I've given something to somebody who's super excited, so they're going to be dialed in and pumped and realize that you're listening to them. Two, Deborah's going to see that, oh, thank God I missed that bullet. And you can be like, hey, you didn't miss any bullet. I didn't give it to you because you had mentioned really wanting to kind of coast these last couple of years and just do the job you're doing. If that's changed, let me know. It's all about communication, honest conversations. The final thing I'll say really quick about engaging culture is if people make mistakes, in my opinion, if people make mistakes, it's a learning opportunity. If you just put someone on blast and embarrass them or shame them or crack jokes at their expense, you're a peckerhead and you're actually diminishing culture and you're hurting it. This is what toxic environments are. Talk to people about what motivates them. Sometimes sometimes people don't want more money. I know that's going to sound crazy, right? But let's just say that a guy named 303, just to use a member in the community. This is completely hypothetical, all right? Let's say Guy 303 and Tech Grunt both work for me, and they're both working their butts off, and I want them to stay happy and engaged. Tech Grunt might be like, hey, listen, I really want to go to more conferences this year. I love going to cons. I love connecting with people. I'm like, all right. I'm like, well, I can't really give you pay raise, but I can get training dollars and send you to cons a little bit more often. Would that make you happy? Would you be okay if I didn't really get you a marginal pay raise, but I did get you money that you could use to conference around? Is that cool? That might make Tech Grunt happier. Tech Grunt might prefer having the PTO and the conference training paid for than getting a $3,000 pay raise. At the same time, guy named 303, maybe guy named 303 is dating his he's dating a woman that he met at DEF CON, and things are getting real. Okay, and by the way, this is completely hypothetical. So if guy named 303's wife is listening to this right now, this is a completely made up scenario. So guy named 303 meets someone and now would love to work 4 days a week, 10 hours a day, and have 3-day weekends because it's turning into a long distance relationship, and wants to be able to travel out Thursday night, come back Sunday night, and see if this relationship is going to go to the next level. The extra day off a week is worth way more than a $3,000 pay raise. Do you see what I'm saying? To engage people, you have to talk to people and figure out what matters to those people and then help them achieve that. If you do that, people will be engaged because they're part of something that they feel seen, they feel contributing, and they feel valued. All right, that's it. Thanks for that opportunity to answer that question. Trey Black, can you explain how data centers are so interconnected in society and how we got here? Yeah, so basically here's the deal. TLDR is that AI is super powerful, but it requires massive compute. Data centers, quote unquote data centers, it's less about hosting your WordPress website in the cloud, and it's much more about pure compute and pure compute power. Dude, I talked to a company at a conference this year, and I asked them what they did. I'm going to keep this off the record. I said, what do you do? And they told me, and I was like, oh my God. So their business, in a very generic way, their business helps other businesses crush computation for training AI models. And after he explained it to me for 30 seconds, I said, wow, okay, so is the fact that you have there's not enough data centers the problem for you? And he said, Jerry, I will tell you this, we have billions of dollars of revenue that can be generated that we just cannot process because we are bottlenecked with data centers. If you were to add 10 more data centers today, we would be able to achieve much more revenue. If you added 100 more, we'd even get more revenue. So literally there's an borderline infinite demand with revenue generating money, real money, for these data centers. And because everybody wants straight cash, homie, and we live in a late stage capitalism society, that's what all these data centers are about. All right, great question. Guy named 303's wife is DMing me right now. I'm joking. Looking through chat right now. It's 9:20. I started at 9:07. I will go a few minutes over. What do you think about AI governance? and how I can kick it off with zero experience. Yeah, man. I mean, AI governance is a real thing. You just got to get your hands dirty. I would start with zero experience. I would start playing with AI, start using it, start trying to appreciate how it works and what it touches. Then get into, start looking into identity and access management around non-human identities, what the privileges are with that. If you want to go in the detection space, the governance, the reality is you cannot tell people no. You have to give them an option and rules around it. Also, I want to share something. I don't know the best place to put this, but I've got to tell you, I was talking to a friend, a good friend the other day, who's a CISO over a multi-billion-dollar company, okay? He told me something wild that I would not have thought about. Again, I'm keeping this super generic so as to not disclose anything. There's an enterprise-grade application at this organization that has tens of thousands of employees, okay? Elliot Mattice and Phil Stafford, I think you'll enjoy this one. But this is for everybody. I want everybody to file this in the back of their mind so you look like the smartest person in the room when you're talking about a project kickoff, okay? They rolled out one of these AI tools that was going to analyze all the data in their enterprise-grade system, okay? They launched the application, okay? It's not like an app on your computer. It's like a server. And the server is querying the APIs of this enterprise-grade solution. There was no throttling or utilization constraints on the AI. So they launch it, and the AI is basically hammering this enterprise-grade critical application for this organization of 10 to 15,000 people. And all of a sudden, people start complaining. Systems are hanging. Spinning wheel. Apps aren't working. It looks like they're under attack. And effectively what was happening is the AI was just pegging out as much utility as it could because it was designed to pull all the data from this database with zero thought into throttling or utilization. So when you're talking to businesses that are going to partner with you on AI projects, one of the questions, identity and access management, read-write access versus read, all that's important. Ask them about what their utilization is and how they control that, because I don't want you to suffer a unexpected availability gap. Pro tip, that's why you should come to the show. You get pro tips like this. Let's see. Question. Already asked that question. Already answered that question. Dude, Drink Champs Rewind really wanted that question answered. ConvertTex. I recently just got an extension for my internship. Very cool. I've been, you know what? That gets a Ric Flair woo. I've been working in SecOps and GRC throughout the last few months. What's your advice for securing? All right. So, dude, the fact that you got your internship extended is a great sign. Internships should be perceived by anyone in the middle of an internship as essentially a long form job interview. ConvertTex, all I would say is deliver as much value as you can, be super attentive, be super focused. You may, if you really wanted to stand out as an individual, depending on if they have you doing more SecOps or GRC work, maybe, like, dude, I'll give you one. Okay, check this out, because I've just been working with this group myself. I've got some content coming out on my Simply Cyber channels, but look at this. Exchange. All right, look at this. At Black Hat, I went to Tenable Village. They did this open. This is open source, free for everybody. AI agents. It's called Cyber Agents Exchange. In fact, if I could ask you, hold on one second. Here, use this link. I'm not even doing. I didn't plan on doing this, but use this link if you can, because it is a UTM thing, so it'll get attributed to Simply Cyber. Click on that link. But dude, ConvertTex, check out this. These are all free agent skills, MCP servers, and playbooks. Free. made by SOC analysts to help them do their job better. I want to call your attention specifically to one called SOC Hunter. Oh, it's not. How do I find it? I don't know how to find it. Anyways, go look at this. There's one called SOC Hunter. Is it here? Hold on one second. Right here, SOC Hunter. This one came from Tenable as like a launch one. It is absolutely there's a demonstrated use case where they went from like a 1.5 day incident to 20 minutes. Like as an example, I'm not saying deploy this into your work environment, okay? Because that'll get you in trouble. What I am saying is go look at that Cyber Agents Exchange, look through the skills, agents, and stuff that's there. Find one or two that you think is interesting. Think about why it's interesting, and then potentially put together some type of like little pitch or something like that, and just say, hey, I'm doing all this work. By the way, at Black Hat, which everybody that works at that internship is going to know what Black Hat is. You're going to say at Black Hat, Tenable released the Cyber Agents Exchange with all these free tools and skills. I went through all of them, and I found two that I think really could be beneficial to us here, specifically for these reasons. Here's a link to it. Just putting it out there, right? And maybe even say, hey, with your blessing, I'd love to explore further and see if this can help us. What that's going to do for you is, number one, you're obviously doing your whole job in general, but so you're crushing it there. Number two, you're going to show initiative. Number three, you're going to be aware and up to date on something that's brand new that just released at Black Hat with a major, well-respected company in cybersecurity with an open source tool. My guy, like whoever's your boss is going to be like, Jesus, whoo. All right. But continue to deliver on all the awesome things that you're doing. Will Simply CyberCon be televised? Yes. The talk tracks will be televised, as always, track 1 and track 2. We are doing workshops, webinars, we're doing like something really fun in the middle of each day. It's TBD, but the talk tracks will be for sure aired on Simply Cyber Con YouTube channel and Simply Cyber Cafe YouTube channel. Were you the one wanting to work with Hayden from AI Summit about building? Yeah, that was me, Viking. Yep. No. Well, yes, I don't know. So really quick, for those who don't know, Hayden Covington gave a talk on building agents, and he's built like a crazy cool agent, and he's built like one major one that uses like Fable or whatever. Like it uses an expensive frontier model, but then he's built sub agents that do very specific things that use cheaper models. And I said, like, I want to do that. Like I use Claude. I kind of try to use agents, but Hayden, I'd love to do it. I've actually texted back and forth with Hayden because he's a friend on top of it. And I gave him my thoughts and ideas on how I would do the workshop. And I think he's taken my guidance under advisement. So yes, I'm the one. And I don't know what I would use the agents for, but like, to me, just understanding how to build an agent and then have sub agents report and start looping, I think that is where we're going. And for me personally, I don't fully understand it. And I think it's a massive gap in my current understanding. I feel like I'm falling behind on the pace of where we are with AI and AI agents. So that's why I asked Hayden to do that. BJ Charles, how do you train or incentivize help desk techs to care more about security and not take shortcuts for the sake of closing tickets quicker? Honestly, BJ Charles, what I would recommend you do, if possible, if you can get, I say this all the time for different facets, get in front of the help desk. Say they have a, weekly all hands meeting or something. Spend 5 minutes and actually do a little case study. Like, hey guys, this is Shiny Hunters. They compromised this person. If you can, BJ, find an example or a case study where it actually affected an individual. Like, oh, hey, like here's an example where, this person, like grandma got $5,000 taken from her or something like that. But basically the fact that like a help desk person compromised them, nobody on the help desk wants to feel stupid or like they're part of the problem. If you can, I don't know if it's ever public. Devin Grady, Rhonda Rummerfield, and myself all heard it. CrowdStrike has a recording. I think it's recreated recording, but of a threat actor calling help desk and like having the person reset their creds. And it was an absolute abomination because the help desk person was basically like giving the threat actor every chance. Like basically a help desk person's like, I can't reset your password until you prove your identity. You know, who's your boss? And the person's like, my boss is Vanessa. And they're like, nope, try again. And they're like, Linda. And they're like, nope, try again. It starts with a C. And the person's like looking at an org chart, obviously. And they're like, Cindy? And he's like, yep, that's right. I'll go ahead and reset your password right now. That right there is absolutely absurd. And anyone would feel self-shamed if they did that. So like by putting it out there and allowing the help desk people to see what could be bad and then not wanting to do that would be a great way. Also, donuts go a long way. Dude, I'm going to tell you, like CISOs get budget, man. You don't need $1,000 to grease people. Just once a week, hey, compliments of the Information Security Office. We do donuts on Tuesday. All right. Cole says they're happy in their current GRC role, but how do I keep myself marketable for few opportunities and not become stagnant? I got one for you, Cole, SCole07. Again, for those who don't know, I'm an absolute huge, big-time dork for GRC and cybersecurity in general. I love it. Here's what I would suggest to you. And SCole07, I'm about to do this myself. I'm going to make a video about this. So if you guys want to get hyped for my videos, Simply Cyber videos. By the way, couple things. One, I've got several pieces of like sponsored content coming out. A couple pieces with Tenable, all about that cyber exchange thing I did. And I'm doing some stuff with Flare on LinkedIn. Anyways, just as a promise to you guys, like anytime I very much try to at minimum balance out paid content with like organic content. Like I don't want to be a freaking billboard, but I do need to pay bills. Just so everybody knows that. But I got 2 great videos coming out this weekend on LinkedIn that are super helpful. But what I want to share with you is this, which is an idea I had this morning. Check this out. NIST CSF 2.0 AI analysis initial comment. Look at this. Yes, I subscribe to NIST emails. So NIST released today or yesterday, using AI for cybersecurity framework 2.0 analysis and reporting quick start guide. Now it's available for comment, which means it's in its initial draft publication. So this will not be the final, but I read through this whole thing. Okay. You want to talk about a saxophone? Oh my guy, this thing right here, it's going to give you the prompts. There's a prompt 1, prompt 2, prompt 3. They actually give you fake organizational documentation so you can have it set up. So SCole07, to answer your question, one great way is to take this NIST CSF 2.0 analysis, run through it, understand how the AI is working, look at the prompts, right? So now you're using AI for GRC. You're seeing what NIST is working on. So you can talk about NIST. You can share this with other people. You can even, like, if you walk through all this, you can actually, this is open for public comment. So you could technically provide comments to NIST. And then, it wouldn't be dishonest. You could put that you're a contributor to a NIST documentation final state, which is awesome. Okay. So for those who want to know, personally, that came to my mind, SCole07, because I'm going to make videos explaining what this project is and then actually showing you how to deploy the AI and use these 3 use cases in this fake org document, and then break down my, what's the word? Like judgment. There's a better word for it, but my disposition or judgment on whether or not I think these prompts are good and whether I think that this is a good direction. And if I have a thumbs down on it, I will provide comments to NIST. So there you go, Escol07. All right, we're at 9:36. I got time for one more question. Who's it going to be? J Market wins. I have a master's in information systems and soon an MBA in the fall. I want to get into GRC. How should I go about that? Oh, well, that's very cool. You know, I have a video on the channel on how to break into GRC. I have several videos on the channel on how to break into GRC, honestly. What I would say, Jay, is number one, you should be communicating and engaging with the cyber staff at your college, right? Like the people in the business school aren't necessarily going to help you. But if you want to get into GRC, you know, you have a professional network to engage with. Hopefully the other students in your school, the ones that want to go work in cyber, make sure you're engaging with them. Local conferences, basically, you've got to build a network, okay? That's step 1A. 1B, again, like there's your technical skills on being able to do GRC work, but in my opinion, in 2026, network is vital. Personal brand is vital. So make sure on social media, like LinkedIn specifically, you're very much painting yourself as a GRC professional. All right, I'm going to show you a link right now. I did this work with this individual. Okay, my guy. What the hell? Come on. All right, so this is my LinkedIn. This is a Perver Bakshi. Okay, this is a Simply Cyber community member. I've worked with her. She's done an internship. She's done some good stuff. She has a degree in fine arts. Okay, she has the same question you had, Jay. I said you got to make everything super focused on GRC. So let's look at her account right now, okay? Animation trained mind, GRC focused career. So taking her art background and everything and making it a strength of a GRC person, okay? Visual artist turned SOC intern, headed for GRC. Very clear what she's doing. This is clear communication. She spent 4 years making complex ideas clear. Now she wants to do it with risk frameworks. You know exactly what she's about, right? And then she leans into how animation can help her tell a better story, communicate visually for GRC and stuff like that. All right? So personal brand network. And then, of course, what I would recommend, Jay, is audit. Look into audit. Get used to CIS 18, NIST CSF frameworks. Look for GRC analyst roles. If you want like a easy button and you can move, the DMV DC area has professional services companies doing FISMA auditing for federal government. There's opportunities there. Wish you the best. All right, guys, I got to get going out of here. Reminder. Hack Smarter Labs, we're doing a raffle tomorrow on stream. Don't miss this opportunity. If you're listening on replay, audio podcast, app of choice, whatever, come. simplycyber.io/raffle. simplycyber.io/raffle is the URL to register for this. No purchase necessary. Anyone can enter. It's a virtual prize. We'll give away 5 Hack Smarter Labs 1 month all access passes. I think I'm doing this all legally as far as like disclosures and all that stuff. All right, y'all. Woo! What a day. What a show. What a stream. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. You guys are awesome. Thank you so very much. And until next time, stay secure.